We'll be back. So yeah, the UC Berkeley employees going around beating up women and men, and the university's just praising it, saying, well, you're fascist, you deserve it. The demonization of people projected onto them for their political views. I want to tell all the minions of this something. Your culture, your political system, your whole ethos is a false corporate program, not to give you power down the road, but to sabotage society while the machines and the automation and globalism take over and as we're made obsolete. And if you go look at your rallies, you are the most uninformed, uneducated, unprofessional people I've ever seen. I don't say that to be mean. It's just that you're in a cult. And I want to see you come out of it. It doesn't mean what I'm doing is perfect, but you're really a mess. And we have Professor Hamamoto, who's been through the Rockefeller Foundation programs for education, but saw it and has been exposing it and has been persecuted for it. So understand, the whole power structure is against Trump. Not that he's perfect. So you sit there and claim you're anti-establishment. Goldman Sachs is trying to sabotage the economy right now. They're openly against Trump. They gave zero money to him. So don't shake your finger and say he appointed 3 Goldman Sachs people. That's because they're guides to do the demolition of this program. But Trump sees the wave of nationalism and sovereignty and populism that's here. He knows what he's riding on. That's why he's successful. What about you? So I don't want to sit there and laugh at you and say you're chumps. I want you to wake up. This is your short segment, Professor Long one coming up. But just the big picture of what you witnessed for new listeners, new viewers, what's been happening at the campuses, just the crazy-eyed madness you're witnessing. Well, what is it? I was just saying, what is this madness we're witnessing?
All right. First of all, the Bay Area has long been, for decades, one of the primary regions for cult formation, whether it's fake religions such as the People's Temple, which, by the way, was linked to the University of California and the University of California, Davis. There's an excellent book that's never really been published, dissertation on that topic. But going down to the Stanford Research Institute, which most of your audience will know about, and including UC Berkeley and the whole UC system with it, currently with their neuroscience, but back in the early days with studies on obedience and torture and the Zimbardo experience.
And that's why Napolitano is there. You even predicted 2 years ago when she went there, she was going to plan something big, but go ahead.
Exactly. By the way, she has a second occurrence of cancer. And the reason I mentioned that is because a lot of these students who are on, or provocateurs, professional rioters and students who are exhibiting strange, bizarre behavior like Maxine Waters and Nancy Pelosi, they're being bombarded by 5G technologies. The city of, and this is from an environmental science I respect and admire greatly, Lauren Murray. She has gone very deeply and shown how the city of Berkeley and Oakland, Alameda County has been completely wired into a smart city. And this is altering the behavior.
Oh, listen, when I go into these smart grids, I get sick all the time and the plants are dying. I mean, there's no doubt this is going on.
Exactly. So we have a really, really, really deep, radically deep problem here. It does the students, the young people, and us, ourselves, a disservice to just call it cult behavior. And some people just say, oh, well, it's Berkeley in the 1960s. Forget it. That's the last war. Generals are always fighting the last war.
Yeah, the CIA putting out, suitcases of LSD is nothing. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, yeah. The psychedelic, people are fixated on the 60s and how it was a CIA construct and all that. But what we are seeing is silent weapons in a quiet war, right? I mean, we've seen that paper, and a lot of it is workshopped at the University of California from the Department of Energy as well as the Department of Defense. And in the meantime, the thin sliver of our humanity that remains that should be taught in the English and Comparative Literature Department instead has been hijacked by these so-called performance people, performativity, the people that give rise to Maria Abramovich and are encouraging these types of street theater that we're seeing here. So we see it from a curricular standpoint. This is full spectrum dominance, as well as from a technics perspective, a rollout. And it's a trial run. Your city, Austin, as well as Alameda, right?
Oh, I know. That's why I've got to get out. I've announced a 3-year plan to the crew to get out of here because they admittedly, they're saying Austin's the best city in the country to live. They're rolling out this Code Next program where all the houses look the same and no more single family dwellings. I mean, this is a cult.
Exactly. And it's no accident that both Austin and Alameda were the sites of Operation Urban Shield. And you covered this about 2 or 3 years ago yourself on InfoWars.
That's full spectrum dominance. Let's stay right there. Mastering the human domain. Come back. Take your time, Professor. I want you to roll out the next 18-minute segment what's happening. And listen, if you're a new listener and one of these victims,